Glam Girls, welcome back to my channel. It's Chelsea, where we talk about all things glam and all things girly. So today we have two of the new Dior Rouge reformulated blushes that we're going to review. Now I do have two more coming in the mail, but I wanted to get my initial thoughts on these reformulated blushes up for you guys. So I'll share the other shades when they do come in, but we're gonna talk about these two, do a little bit of a comparison between an older formula of Dior blush that I do have, and share with you my final thoughts at the end of the video. So stay tuned for all of that. Thank you so much for spending some time with me today. I truly do appreciate it. And let's get right into this video. So let me just put this out here, okay? I have in the past week become a Dior beauty fanatic, thanks to Sophia C's Beauty. But previously to that, I really wasn't, like, Dior wasn't a brand that was really checking for me. Like, I liked their products, but if you asked me, do you have everything from the brand? No. And if they came out with new releases, especially when it came to blushes, bronzers, things like that, I wasn't the first, second, or third person to pick them up. But there was a lot of just buzz about these reformulated products. Dior is doing a massive reformulation of their products to make them more natural. So they are updating pretty much all of their products. And I don't know, I'm a blush girl, so maybe that's why I was drawn in by these, but let's get into them. So the two shades that I picked up were New World, and this is a shimmer shade because when I ordered them, when they first became available, they have 22 shades, which I was like, oh yes, 9 were available the day that I ordered them. So the two that I picked up were this one, this is New World. It's a shimmer formula, and then I picked up Poison, which is a matte formula. So this is what Poison looks like. These blushes do retail for $45, and like I said, they come in 22 shades. We have formulas of satin, matte, natural, shiny, and holographic. And as of today, it looks like all 22 shades are available. So if you're interested in any of the shades, formulations, and things like that, definitely check the links down below. I'll have everything linked down below and everything that I'm wearing linked down below. So it says that Dior has reinvented Rouge Blush, Dior's iconic blush that enhances the cheeks with a long-wearing, healthy glow effect. Its intense couture color is available in 4 finishes. And then it says the formula is composed with 90% natural origin ingredients and infused with floral skincare ingredients. It maintains skin hydration and ensures comfort all day long. It's soft, lightweight texture, it's particularly silky, and offers a second skin feel. So in the demo, the first shade that you saw me put on was this shade called New World, the shimmer formula. And I will say that the formula does feel nice and silky and soft. And I'll do a quick swatch. These are swatches of what I'm wearing on my eyes, so let's just bypass those. But here's a swatch of what New World looks like, and it definitely does have a nice soft shimmer to it. This would be a really great blush to use if you are just trying to do like kind of a one and done look on the cheeks. You don't have really a lot of time to do like blush and highlight. This would be a really beautiful like blusher, blush highlighter type of product to throw into the cheeks. Now I will admit I do have a liquid highlighter underneath my foundation, but the sheen that you see right along here is coming from the blush. So I really enjoy this shade. These are shades that I really like to go for, especially in the upcoming warmer months. Or I should say warmer months. They're not upcoming because they're warm now. And then the other shade that I picked up is a Poison. This has a matte formula. Same thing, really soft formulation of the blush. I love the tone of this one as well. It's a bit cooler. And for some reason, not for some reason, but I am really loving cooler toned blushes. Like, not like icy cool, but just, you know, neutral to cool. So really enjoy this formulation. Looking at the swatches on my arm, in my opinion, you can't really see a difference between the satin and shimmer formula. Like, that shimmer formula is not really distinct. But on the face, that's when I actually saw it in action. I was like, oh wow, because I actually, just looking at it in the pan, I didn't even look at the shades when I was taking them out the box. I was like, oh, this looks like it will be a matte formula. Then when I put it on, I was like, a little bit of glow there, and then I looked and I was like, oh, shimmer formula, makes sense. I used the Songeji Cheek Pro brush to apply both blushes, and I had to say that real slow because like all those beads were like already getting tongue-tied before they came out. I just wiped off the brush before applying either shade onto the cheek, but I do think that both shades applied very beautifully, very silky, and it was quite light in the application, but I do think you can build up the formula. I did add a couple of layers of the blushes just so that you could see them a little bit better. And I will say with the Sonia G Cheek Pro brush, this is going to be more of a like blending buffer blush brush. And so I do think this brush diffuses the product more and gives a softer application. If I wanted to go in with more of a denser application, I think you would want to go in either with a denser brush or more so with a synthetic brush to pick up those pigments better to deposit them onto the cheek. And I'll actually do that now just so we can see it in action. So I'm gonna go in with the My Kitco 0.35 brush. It's a buffing brush, but as you can see, the hairs are a bit more dense. So I'm gonna take the New World shade, and you can already see that it's picking up the product really nicely, and you can get much more pigmentation like so. So, you know, everything really is also tied into the application and the tool that you're using. So if you like more of a prominent blush, just go in with a denser brush. And like I said, probably use a synthetic brush. Now we're gonna go in with Poison, the matte shade, and we'll add that here. And so you can see more of that product here. So yeah, I do think they build very nicely. And I really do like the formulation of the blushes. Now, like I said, I am not a Dior like stan. I don't have all the previous formulations of blush. So if you are like, I hate the new formula, I'm sorry. I'm only going off of my experience and what I feel. I do feel like they blend very nicely into the skin, and I really, really like them. I like them. Now, I am gonna pull out the one Dior blush because I only have one. I told you guys, I'm being honest here. So, one blush. This is the Dior Rouge blush. It came from the Birds of a Feather collection. So this is in the shade 462, and this is what the blush looks like. When I was applying these new formulated blushes, I was like, I feel like the Birds of a Feather blush was a little more pigmented, like kind of right out of the gate. So what I'm gonna do is, I know I have blush on my face, but I'm gonna take the Sonia G Cheek Pro brush, wipe it off, and I'm just gonna apply some here. Now I know, like I said, we have blush, but I'm thinking we can still see it in action. I want to see, because like I said, I feel like we had a little more pigmentation. So, and I don't know if the pigmentation that we do see is because of the older formula, or if it's because of shade. I am leaning toward a combination of both, but with the Cheek Pro brush, as you saw from the demonstration earlier, I did have to build up a couple of layers to get this kind of intensity of pigmentation, whereas I'm using the same brush and I feel like I'm getting more pigmentation. Now, like I said, this could just be me trying to find a difference. I don't know. And I'm interested in getting some of the older formula of blushes. I think Ulta still sells a few shades of the older formula. And I'm not sure where else. I'll definitely link those down below if you want to get the older formula. But I do feel like this newer formula still is really pretty. It's still very silky, blends really well into the skin, and I really, really like it. I'm glad that I have a couple more shades coming because I myself will definitely use these blushes, and I think that the formula is buildable as well. So I would say if you are interested in the reformulated blushes, unless you have a very extensive background on Dior blushes and you're like, no, they've just chalked up this formula and made it trash, definitely check them out. And if you do have the older formula and you don't like this newer formula, please leave that down in the comment section below so that we can all understand why. Give us your reasons why. Tell us why the older formula might have been better. Or if you love this new formula and you're like, I like it better than the older formula, or I think it's on par, leave all of that down below, because I think they're beautiful. I think they blend very well. They're silky. I love that I can control the build of the formula, either with the tool that I'm using or with adding layers. And I love blushes like that because you can work with them a little bit more. They're user-friendly for all levels of makeup artistry and application. And you don't have to worry about doing too much all at one time. Let me do a swatch of the Birds of a Feather ones just so you can see it in between these two. So remember, we've got the shimmer blush here. This is the matte blush. So let me throw Birds of a Feather here in the middle so you can see what they look like up close. And yeah, I mean, looking at them on my arm, I think that all three of them look really beautiful. I don't see any like stark differences between the formulation in terms of, they all feel very silky smooth. I feel like they apply silky onto the skin, and I feel like they blended well. Like, you know, I'm looking a little pigmented in the cheek area, but once these like settle into the skin as the time and the day goes on, I think these are going to settle very beautifully, very naturally, and they're going to last very long on the skin. So I really like them. Very happy that I picked them up. I definitely want to hear your thoughts down below, so leave all your comments down below. Tell me your thoughts, all the things, so that we all can be informed. And if you've made it to this point in the video and you haven't yet to subscribe to my channel, I would love for you to consider subscribing and joining the Glam Girl Squad, because we'd love to have you. And guys, that is it. Thank you so much for watching, and I really hope to see you in my very next video. Bye, guys.